Fashion Weeks. The first Fashion Week took place in the early 1940s in New York City. It was originally called Press Week. Since then, much has changed. Every major city now has its own Fashion Week. Worldwide, it's all about the latest pieces from upcoming collections, which will soon hit stores globally. First seen, never seen before, at Fashion Week, you can find everything concentrated in one city, along with acquaintances, friends, and many new trends. That's why so many people love to travel to Fashion Week events. Fashion Weeks worldwide. It's Fashion Week. As mentioned earlier, the audience at Fashion Weeks is extremely diverse, ranging from buyers from major fashion chains to celebrities and fashion enthusiasts. The major fashion weeks are held twice a year, allowing designers to present their spring, summer, and fall winter collections to a broad audience and with extensive media coverage. The Big Four, New York, Paris, London, and Milan, are the most influential fashion weeks in the world. However, Asia has also stepped up its game with events like Shanghai and Hong Kong Fashion Weeks. Tel Aviv and Mexico City also host their own fashion weeks. The fashion shows are more or less the same everywhere. Shows by renowned designers like Marc Jacobs or Giorgio Armani typically last only 15 minutes, although there are exceptions. Each designer brings their own visions to life during the fashion show. While there's a basic structure that most designers follow, each fashion show opens with a crucial opening model who presents the designer's collection to the critical audience. The first impression of the collection must be perfect. Models usually present several outfits and walk the catwalk multiple times. There's also a closing model, who is equally important to the designer. The highlight of the collection should surprise and fascinate the audience at the end of the show. After each fashion show, the models walk together on the runway one last time, showcasing their outfits to the audience. That's it. The fashion circus then travels around the world with each season. New York, Paris, London, and Milan continue to be the trendsetters in the fashion world. New York Fashion Week. New York. The city of media, power, and fashion. NYC is the who's who of the fashion industry. Sitting in the front row at New York Fashion Week is a dream for many young girls. Those who make it here are firmly established in the fashion scene and belong to the inner circle. The Fashion Week in New York is one of the exclusive and most successful fashion weeks in the world. Accordingly, the Fashion Week in the Big Apple opens each season before the other fashion capitals. While Bryant Park served as the venue for the fashion shows in the past, the Lincoln Center is now the fashion hotspot for New York Fashion Weeks. Over 50 major shows by renowned designers like Marc Jacobs, Donna Karan, Tommy Hilfiger, Michael Kors, or Ralph Lauren captivate the audience at the Lincoln Center. Besides the big fashion shows, there are numerous smaller fashion shows in galleries or other exclusive locations in Manhattan. Models present new women's and men's collections, and male and female models sometimes walk together on the catwalk. The number of visitors at the fashion event is 6-digit. Compared to Berlin, that's an incredibly large number of visitors. Fashion editors and fashion bloggers scramble for coveted seats next to the catwalk. New York is the mecca for the entire fashion world. The second hotspot is Paris. Paris Fashion Week. Aside from New York Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week is also of great importance in the fashion scene. Here, you'll find the crème de la crème of women's fashion. Paris Fashion Week usually takes place last, after the fashion weeks in the other three metropolises. The program of Paris Fashion Week includes over 90 major fashion shows. Highlights include the fashion shows by Chanel, Dior, or Alexander McQueen. The designers' fashion collections exude a mysterious charm, giving Paris its unique fashion city flair. At Fashion Week, a significant part is dedicated to pret-a-porter, ready-to-wear, fashion. But haute couture, which is not as everyday wearable, is also showcased in Paris. Fashion enthusiasts can watch haute couture shows at various evening events. In Paris, elevated sewing art, haute couture, was born extravagant, high quality, expensive, and not practical for everyday wear. It is considered true art, even by outsiders. The haute couture elements of fashion collections are the highlights of every designer. Paris remains the home of haute couture to this day. The development of haute couture was a triumph in fashion history and continues to shape the fashion scene today. The idea for classic fashion shows, as we know them today, also originated in Paris. After a prominent designer of that era, Monsieur Charles Frederick Worth, opened various fashion houses in France, he began having models present his collections. His vision was to present fashion in the best possible way it could be worn, a marketing strategy that paid off and became an achievement in the fashion industry. While Paris and France made fashion something exclusive, Great Britain and London were the metropolis that turned fashion into affordable mass-produced products for many people during the Industrial Revolution. Thanks to new techniques and production methods, fashion was accessible to a broader audience. However, let's leave the history of fashion for later. While previously, fashion was reserved for a select few wealthy citizens, now, thanks to the upheaval of the Industrial Revolution, everyone could buy the latest fashion. Even today, London and Great Britain are still synonymous with excellent taste and diversity. Therefore, the London Fashion Week still sets the tone for fashion trends. London Fashion Week. London Fashion Week is famous and infamous. London is home to many cultures and influences, which is evident to all visitors during the Fashion Week. London Fashion Week takes place every year in February and September at the traditional and central Somerset House. The London Fashion Week men's event takes place slightly earlier. The fashion shows are a highlight for London society. The event is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz and the well-known hairdressing chain Toni and Guy. During London Fashion Week, trendy and exclusive collections for women and men are presented. Over 150 designers showcase their fashion collections. Men's fashion is well represented in London, with the London Collections Men event featuring the latest men's fashion. As described earlier, fashion weeks worldwide are usually accessible only to industry professionals and invitees. However, London adds a creative twist by ending the Fashion Week with a highlight for Londoners and tourists alike. Following the London Fashion Weeks, the so-called Fashion Weekend takes place. Unlike Fashion Week, the Fashion Weekend is open to the public. There are small salon shows and boutique events everywhere. The weekend primarily serves London retailers, but with its small events and evening festivities, it's also a great way to experience fashion in London. New York, Paris, London. Big designers like Armani or Versace showcase their fashion globally, but their origins lie in Italy. Italy has always been a leader in fashion and art. While many countries designate their capitals as fashion metropolises, Italy's trendsetters are not in Rome, but in Milan, our last stop on this fast-paced journey through the fashion world. Milan Fashion Week. This city breathes fashion. If you've been to Milan, you'll find all the major brands, top model agencies, and renowned magazines here. Although Milan is much smaller than the other big four cities, it pulsates with energy not just during Fashion Week, but throughout the year. Milan is a go-to place for models daily, with countless small and large castings taking place on its streets for fashion shows, lookbooks, and campaigns. Italians can't get enough of fashion. Milan Fashion Week takes place 4 times a year. Milan is particularly well known for its men's collections fashion shows. It's considered a fashion hotspot for men's fashion. The international fashion scene pays special attention to the men's collections showcased at Milan Fashion Week each season. The fashion shows for men's collections take place in January and June, while women's collections are presented in February and September. Giorgio Armani and Versace also leave their mark on Milan Fashion Week. If you make it as a model in Milan, you'll not only experience unique shows but also create unforgettable memories during your time in Milan, especially during Fashion Week. Every evening, numerous events beckon, with the most interesting ones usually remaining a secret. Swimming pools, pool parties, rooftop events. Milan can truly be an unforgettable experience for a model. You'll likely make your first runway experiences at a showroom or during a fashion week, be it in winter or summer. Now that we've touched on Fashion Week, I also want to give you a glimpse into how model agencies and models prepare and how Fashion Week, with all its castings and shows, unfolds. Come with me to Berlin. Thank you for listening to this chapter of the Model Book. Follow the podcast and embark on a captivating journey into the world of modeling. Hosted by model agency owner Stefan Chaya, this podcast provides aspiring models with comprehensive insights, expert advice, and practical tips to pursue their dreams. Tune in, unlock your full potential, and leave a 5-star review if you find our podcast inspiring. Together, let's make your modeling dreams a reality.